գոյություն ունի այս աշխարհում իրոք ճիշտ եւ այդ իրոք ճիշտը իմ համար եւ հասկացող մարդու համար ամենակարևոր բանն է այս աշխարհի մեջ խիա կարևոր է որովհետեւ ամեն ինչը կապ ունի պահանջի ճշմարտության այսինքն այս աշխարհի մեջ եւ ամբողջ աշխարհների մեջ այն բանը որ գոյություն կարող է լինի եւ հնարավոր է դա ճշմարտությունով է եւ ճշմարտությունով չի ուրեմն ոչ մի բան գոյություն չի կարող լինի աշխարհի մեջ դրա համար էլ ամեն ինչի մեջ կա խառնոց եւ ճշմարտությունի մեջ կա մի քանի հատ խառնոց ամենաճիշտը որն է ամեն դեպքի մեջ ուրեմն ամենաճիշտը որ ամեն դեպքի մեջ կա դա ամենաիրականը դա իրականը որ կա ինձ այս չի կախված թե քեզ ճիշտ կլինի կամ 75% կամ 98% չէ ինձ հնարավոր է 100% ամեն դեպքի մեջ գոյություն ունի 100% ճիշտ եւ եթե որ կա գոյություն ունի 100% ճիշտ այդ իրոք իրականը ուրեմն պետք է մարդիկ գտնեն այդ ամենաիրականը որն է ամենաճիշտը այդ դեպքի մեջ եւ մասնակցեն ամենաճիշտը ամեն դեպքի մեջ Այս չի որ գոյություն չկա գոյությունը կա բայց պետք է մարդիկ իմանան որն է եւ մասնակցեն կարևորը մասնակցելն է թե չիմանալը չի կամ չիմանալը չի իմացեք որ մասնակցեք just like ամեն ինչ որ վտանգավոր է սիգարետը ամենաճիշտ խոսքի համար ասեմ ես թարգեցի սիգարետեն ձևով որ ասեցի okay հեշտ է ծխելը բայց վնաս է իմ համար դժվար է թարգելը բայց ճիշտ է իմ համար ինչ պետք է անեմ որ դա փոխվի պետք է չծխեմ պետք է մասնակցեմ այն բանի համար այն բանի վրա որ թարգեմ ոնց պետք է թարգեմ պետք է իմանամ ճիշտը սխալը որն է եւ գրեմ եւ իմանամ հետ գնամ ոնց եմ սկսել որ կարողանամ թարգեմ կարողանամ իմանամ ինչն է խնդրեմը ինչն է խնդիրը որ կարողանամ ասեմ okay էսա խնդիրը հիմա ոնց կարողամ էսի փոխեմ որովհետեւ սխալ է Սո ինչ անեցի գնացի սկզբից ասեցի ոնց եմ սկսել ծխել սկսել եմ ծխել այն ձևով որ իմացեմ կայֆ է ասել եմ կայֆ է տեսել եմ որ կայֆ է իսկի կայֆ չգիտե ինչ բան է ասեցի okay ծխեմ մի բան մարդը որ տենում որ կայֆ է ուզում է անի որտեվ տենց է ձևը կայֆ է բայց կայֆը ինչ բան է վնաս դա կայֆ չի հատկապես մարդը որ ինքն իրան վնաս է տալի ոնց կարա դա կայֆ լինի չի կարա դա խառը բան է որ մարդիկ իրար հետ են դնում եւ չի մինչեւ վերջով այսինքն sense անում չի չի իրար հետ գնում, այսինքն sense չի անում, իրար հետ չի գնում, իրար հետ չի դասավորվում։ So, ես արեցի այն բանը, որ ասեցի, okay, հիմա պետք է անեմ այն դժվարությունը, այն դժվարությունը այն բաներ, որ չեք անում թարգել սիգարետ։ Եվ ասեցի, okay, դե լավ։ Պետք է անեմ այդ դժվար բանը, որ դժվար բանը հեշտանա, որով ճիշտ է, օգուտ է, սենց է, իրար հետ է գնում։ Եվ այն բանը, որ հեշտ է, որ վնաս է ինձ, պետք է թարգվի, որ դժվարանա, հեշտը, որ վատը դժվարանա, հեշտը, որ հեշտը ճշտվի և հեշտանա, և ինչ որ վնաս է, դժվարանա և չկանեմ ես ինձ վնաս տամ։ So ինչ արեցի։ Այն բանը, որ դժվար է։ Նշանակում է, որ ես հիմա reverse եմ արել, հիմա ավելի հեշտ է, որ ես չծխեմ, քան որ ես գնամ սիգարետ առնեմ և ծխեմ։ Այդ իմ համար դժվար կլինի, ավելի հեշտ է, որ սիգարետ չծխեմ։ So, what I'm ranting about is true reality and how everything has absolute 100% sense in all aspects of reality, and that's reality whether I like it or not. It is. Why not flow with it? Why go against it? Why make something less of a value than what reality has already, which is self-evident? That exists on its own without me having to create something that goes against it. However, I can't create something that goes within it, or with it, excuse me. So how can I do that? Well, I gotta understand first and foremost to be able to do anything. That's the number one thing, to be aware and to understand. With awareness and with understanding, change is done. And change is done without excuses, with actually going the path of truth when it's possible, and everything with the right is with the truth is possible. Make no mistake about that whatsoever. And let me tell you something, because people have lack of understanding, they think what I'm saying doesn't make sense, but that's actually why I make sense, because I just told you why. I don't have the lack of understanding. It's the people that tell me I have the lack of understanding, that's the issue. I'm still clinging on to what's the most relevant in this earth. Not what's the less irrelevant, which I can make relevant later. What's the most relevant right now is for all things with the true way to be made possible now and in the future. Now, how does that occur? That occurs with awareness and understanding and knowing what right and wrong is, to be able to do that. Now, what do I mean by right and wrong? Well, I'll give you an example. I just used the word mean. What am I referring to? And different languages so people can understand too. All races, if possible. And it is possible, so that means it's reality. That means it must be done. And not just me, I'm just talking about an understanding. I'm just an expression of that understanding. Anyone with that expression of understanding, the ultimate reality, the 100% reality that somebody thinks is the 100% reality, must be considered and exist and be manifested. Because it's real. Now, if I make something lesser of what is ultimate reality within reality, then shame on me. Then nobody's obligated to, follow that because it's less than the absolute reality. Hey, by all means, if you don't want to participate, no problem, don't. But don't jeopardize my being and my beings, my souls. And every single person is the same way, has beings and has souls within every single being. And so I guess it's just a matter of waking up and being able to get rid of every single conditioning within oneself and be the solution in every aspect within oneself, first and foremost, to understand all perspective, all aspects, what that equals to. And so I brought it exactly, I could have gone on to topics, however, that's not the point. The point is, the word mean, what it means, what I'm referring to. Now I say equals to. What that equals to, because everything at the end of the day is an equation. All things that have truth inside, in all aspects, basically infinite aspects, has to be truth then. And within infinite aspect being truth, people are already living inside that actual reality anyway. It's just a distorted version of actual reality. Because a lot of things are all over the place, and things aren't, the way they're supposed to be. So what that equals to is being aware right away and doing your part right away, doing your work, doing your job, making sure every single person knows who you know, to understand truth and to be truth. And the best realities get created with the truth and actually partaking in what's true. And it's like people are, thinking it's hard when in reality they just got conditioned to think that the hard stuff that they're doing on a daily basis, which causes so much damages, by the way, and feelings of all beings to get distorted and, feel weird. They're making the easy thing, like I said, is hard, but it's harmful. Like cigarettes, whatever that may be. Must not be done because it's harm and it's easy. This equals to that is not the answer. This equals to that is not the answer to not do it. And this equals to that. And that doesn't apply to me whatsoever, UConn. Since beginning till today. Anyways, that's a different story. Long story short, good thing certain things happened the way they did. Otherwise, I wouldn't reach to I wouldn't say what I'm saying at this very precise moment. Maybe everything had to happen the way it happened, so I could say what I'm saying. And yes, I do believe that a true team is built inside of oneself with another person, reversing all things that have to do with nonsense. For instance, something that's harmful but that's easy has to be reversed. So harm is very, very hard to a point where it can't even be done because it's wrong. And the possibility of the other thing is what's actual reality that can be done, and it's to be reversed. And some might think, oh, well, I'm so used to something and I'm conditioned in something that's wrong, but I love it, No, you don't. You can't. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as mixing. So you can't love something that causes an harm. See? But people are so conditioned. This is reality for them. However, it's a false reality. It's a dream. It's a false dream. It's not a reality. It's made in reality. It's manifested onto reality. However, truth be told, it's not reality. Why? I just gave you the answer. Because it's a harm and it doesn't need to exist. Just to help you out a little bit, And not say the word help, but use the word support, for instance. That's what I love using. Hey, that word support has a better frequency. That's what I say. Look, when I say I don't just mean me. I mean every single person that has the I representation, and that's in every person, with the true self. See, there's the I with the false self maybe, and there's the I with the true self. And the I with the true self I'm referring to, and every single thing that I'm referring to is with my true self, even though I sound mean, or I sound grumpy, or I sound tired. Hey, that's reality. That's how I feel sometimes, depending on, it's a very hot day today. It's 90 something degrees. I'm not in balance with myself, and if I'm not, neither is anybody. I'm not getting what I need, that's right. That's a lot of people that aren't either, So it's just a matter of within time, all things be understood in terms of all beings in general understanding, first and foremost, what truth is. And being that representation, that expression of truth, and realizing it's not so hard after all. It's only made to seem hard and fixed, created to be hard. Which is, by the way, going against reality, because there's already 10,000 challenges as there is. So, it's in other words, again, it's all about awareness, it's all about understanding, it's all about seeing the bigger picture. It's all about going back to, doing what's the easy thing to do, because it's the right thing to do, it's the sense thing to do, it's the absolute reality to do. The absolute reality is something that's better than what I can create. So why should I create something less of an absolute reality? And by the way, I can be in tune with that absolute reality. I don't have to go against that absolute reality. See, when I make something lesser of the absolute reality, I go against that absolute reality. And it's interesting to me because everything is good and it's going to stay this way. For as long as people realize that the less relevant things that they consider less relevant are actually, relevant. Everything in general, if you ask me, based on understanding, is relevant. Now, with that said, people have to go in that direction of what the truth of all aspects is and create that. And that's what I'm aiming for, and that's what I'm going to create. And this should be, realistically, with all understanding, with seeing what truth is in all matters and all perspectives, is exactly this. Knowing right and wrong, not taking advantage of one another, realizing the truth, being the change within, doing the hard thing, that is the right thing to do, which must be made easy to do, and doing the hard thing, doing the easy thing, that is, very, very harmful. And this should be reversed. This is what the conversation is about. This should be reversed by being aware, by understanding, by being that truth that goes in that absolute reality, within tune of that absolute reality in every aspect of reality, and be that expression of that truth in every aspect of reality, and realize who you are, realize your true nature, forget all this other stuff that you've been told that has nothing to do with actual reality, and let's see if we can actually create heaven on earth. And you know what? I believe we can. I believe it's all about understanding, it's all about awareness, it's all about experiencing things, it's all about going in the processes of being the change within. Not using an excuse, prolonging certain things and doing this and doing that, So, again, it's a matter of awareness. Realizing the truth, being just, being fair, by considering all aspects, Some people like to say, okay, well, that's just, that's just. Well, in every aspect, there's a just. You gotta break things down sometimes. You gotta break things down in aspects and know that every aspect has 100% answer. So if it's not 100% aspect making complete sense, going in the absolute true direction, then it's not true reality. So therefore, you're making something less of a true reality. And this is true. And this is something new and it's something old. It's just not surface. It's not understood. It's not realized by the majority. So it's like, short seen. However, with awareness, with understanding, now it's long seen. And again, this is what it's all about. Realizing the truth, being the truth, doing what reversing things. Reversing in terms of creating the absolute true reality in every given moment, with evolution in mind and understanding and being aware of doing what is the right thing to do, even though it may be the hard thing to do, reversing that aspect, because it's flow with the universal flow, and reversing the other aspect too was the easy thing to do and it's harmful, reversing it and not making it real in reality. Yeah, absolutely is what I just heard. That's true. That's the majority. So, also, again, see, that doesn't matter how things are connected at this point, because all things are 100% reality and sense in all aspects, and going in that direction, immediate things that are, the most relevant in terms of harm that should not be done, done the most quickest in terms of not be done, stopped in all matters and reversed, being the true self, considering all aspects, going with that actual direction where reality is. And the most important part, I just actually lost my train of thought, but I will remember and I will say it. Partake is key. Some people think they can just understand certain things without actually partaking in what actual sense is in all aspects. You know what? If you don't understand, you can ask me. I can maybe know the answer for it, and I won't. I don't know, but maybe somebody else will. But again, yes, certain things I've considered are connected in certain ways. So it's not about jumping into conclusions or assuming. It's about actually being realistic, actually being just, actually understanding things, being that awareness, consciousness being, reversing the stuff that actually understanding with empathy and realizing that it's actually wrong, doesn't make sense, because there's a better possible way. And if there isn't, you can create something this way. I don't know. I do know. What I don't know is that I do know, and that some people don't know. And I guess I'm those some people, but I'm not, because you know what? I do know. And those some people do know too. People know better. People know better. All beings know better. If people can start late on this lecture, other people can remind them. Who mixes things up? Why? And so on and so forth. Is it just? Are they changing their minds, going in a good direction because now they see the truth, etc.? And that's what it is. That's what it's about. Realizing the truth, being aware of the truth, reversing that stuff. That is, people think are not relevant. And sometimes I have to repeat myself. Sometimes I have to go back. You know why? Because people have to realize this. People have to understand this. And people have to consider there's a lot of situations in all aspects, however, not taking advantage of anything. Not taking advantage of anything. Being truthful. Because otherwise, with that said, people taking advantage and this and that, that's not truth anymore. That's a mix. Yes, et khari hedcham, Ueta ճիշտը։ So հիմա մարդիկ ասում են ամեն ինչ հնարավոր է, հնարավոր չի, ամեն ինչը ճիշտով հնարավոր է եւ ասում են բա սխալը հնարավոր ճիշտ չի, ոնց է հնարավոր է։ Նայ, այնքան sense կա այդ մոմենտի մեջ, որ կարող է սխալը եւ սխալ չի եւ իրոք ճիշտ է։ Բայց պետք է իրոք ճիշտ լինի, հասկանում եք, եթե իրոք ճիշտ չի, ուրեմն չի կարելի է լինի։ Եթե այդ որ մարդիկ անում են, ուրեմն այդ է սխալը։ Ժողովուրդ, մարդիկ բնություն, ինչ է որ կա, այս աշխարհի մեջ, որ իրոք ճիշտ է, իրոք, որ ասել եմ, իրոք շուտվանից, այդ է ճիշտ է, թե չէ որ իրոք չի, դա հոմ ճիշտ չի, ճիշտը իրոքով է, եւ հնարավոր չի պետք է ստեղծվի, պետք է սարքվի, որ հնարավոր լինի, հիմա չգիտեմ ինչ գրած բան ման մարդիկ արել, սխալ, որ սխալ պետք է լինի, մարդը ինքն իրոն սխալ անի, խի, ճիշտ է, ինքն իրան է սխալ անում, բայց այդ իր սխալով ինձ է սխալ անում, որտեղ ես այդ մարդու մեջ եմ երևի, ոչ թե երևի այ most likely եւ ճիշտ, թե մոտիկ թե հեռու կարևոր չի, կարևոր այդ մարդը սխալը չի անում, հասկանում է եւ իմանում է որն է ճիշտը եւ սխալը եւ բոլորը ճիշտ ձևով կարող հասկանան ճիշտը եւ սխալը որն է եւ մասնակցեն այդ ճշտին եւ շարունակեն չիմանան որ էտա եւ վերջ իմ գործը պրծավ չէ այդ condition-ն է մարդու որ պետք է մարդը ընթացքի մեջ եւ միշտ դուրս հանի իր մեջից դուրս հանի որով իրական բան չի եւ ընդհանրապես ստեղծած է այս իրական կյանքի մեջ something nonsense is created in this reality for this reality to have a damage or nonsense occur and people are like oh well it's nonsense but it's not damage but yeah you consider a bunch of nonsenses maybe it is damage who knows check whatever the point is it's not whatever the point is to check and to understand and to realize the truth and be the truth obviously and what's interesting is a lot of things more things than not are interesting what's up bro ¿Cómo estás? What's that? Tired? ¿Tú? Tired? ¿Cansado? What did you say? Tired. How do you say it in Spanish? ¿Cansado? From what? Smoking cigarettes?
My friend.
Huh?
I thought I know you.
Oh, no. Well, I do know you.
You look the same as my friend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they call him Wilon.
Why do they call him that?
That's just the way they call him.
But what does that mean? What is that equal to?
His name.
Does that have a meaning behind it? A definition behind it?
All right, man. Sorry if I confusing you.
Oh, it's okay, man.
Commercial units. Damn, I wish my nigga Fast was here. How you died 30 something after banging all the news.
I just saw someone on the street. He thought he recognized me. Turns out he didn't recognize me. Whatever the story may be, what matters is what I was referring to in terms of truth, in terms of every single person on every aspect being the absolute truth, not lessering that truth, and being who you are, and in time, getting rid of the conditions inside of oneself and outside of self. Otherwise, to not get rid of the conditions inside and outside of themselves, there'll be no point in somebody knowing what I'm saying right now, in terms of reversing what's hard and is wrong, or excuse me, right. Something is hard to do, but it's bad to do it. Excuse me, it's easy to do it. It doesn't make sense. It's hard. So people have to understand that they have to get rid of, for example, cigarettes because it's harmful. But it's hard to get rid of the cigarettes. It must be reversed. The hard thing must be made the easy thing to do by partaking in the truth, by things in time getting easier and easier, which is the right thing to do in terms of stop smoking cigarettes, not quitting because quitting is a condition. condition is what I'm referring to, that one must get rid of. And actually, whatever they do in that aspect has to actually be just. It can't just be like, oh, it's just, and that's it. No. The actual story has to be known for something to be just, actually, in all aspects, for things to actually make sense. You know? So if things make sense, then the person starts getting the sense. If things don't make sense, then the person doesn't get sense. However, things have made sense for me a long time ago, and I wasn't necessarily getting the sense in all aspects the way I was making all aspects to be. Within myself and outside of myself, whatever reality was for me, and other people that are aware they are that true reality by understanding and being aware of that true reality is what is important. For every single being, it is important. Every single being is as important as the truth that I have the expression of saying for somebody to actually understand and partake. And not put in back of their ear and think, oh, well, this makes sense to me, this doesn't make sense to me, therefore I'm going to do this, I'm not going to do this. Well, you know what? If that's the case, then I'm confident, I'm sure enough, the other person can know what the truth is and be able to, hold the other person accountable until the person, he himself, she herself, holds himself accountable in all beings. Point.